So thank you for everyone who's attended today for the celebration of the Oswin Avenue School. I'd first of all like to pass on my regrets that three very important people who participated with our project are not able to attend today. And that's Guy Forshaw, and many of you will know him for his Facebook page, which 1,300 Oswin Avenue members, former pupils and teachers are members. And then there's Anne Smith, whose marvellous cartoons you might have seen already, and is probably currently flying from Germany and might be ahead. So Anne, thank you very much. And most of all, Maurice Wordsworth. For those of you who've had the opportunity to look at the exhibits already, you'll find out that how much I attribute to Maurice Wordsworth's contribution to the history and heritage of Oswin Avenue and to British basketball. And it is with great regret that I found out just a few days ago that Maurice was too ill to attend today. I know that he had looked forward to meeting so many of his associates in Oswin Avenue. When it came to putting the exhibits out, I visited Maurice, and he was very generous. He said, take as much as you want from the history of the Doncaster Panthers. And I brought the biggest trophy, this big, and unfortunately it's too big for the museum to accommodate. And so I was asked, can you replace this? Fortunately, the Doncaster Panthers won so many trophies that I was able to, within 5 minutes, I was able to go to Maurice and say, we need a trophy this big, this wide, can you help? There were dozens. The team that was born of Oswin Avenue, that became a national and international success, a team made of Oswin Avenue pupils who dominated local basketball and who won national and international trophies. And Maurice went on to take his coaching badges and became the manager and the coach of the national team, and coached the team in the Olympics. So it is a great shame that Maurice hasn't been able to make it today. I've been overwhelmed by the positive reviews that I've received in the last few days. In such a short time, so many people have said, oh, what a great job you've done, Tony. But on each occasion, I've had to remind them that the success is a success of a community. It's not just one person this. I've been privileged to share the stories, and I've been trusted to spend the money that people have donated to create this. And so I thank you all for that. A lot of people have, as they've gone around, said, well, you haven't done your own board. Where's your storyboard? Well, in a way, the whole thing is my storyboard. I don't think anyone could be left in any doubt what school I attended. Yes, it was Edward. No. But in putting the story together, I was able to draw upon my time, my first job in the printing company, where I worked in the art department and laid out storyboards and the printing boards. And the research was, well, I was a graduate in history, and the research comes naturally. I was happy to be able to use a history degree for once in my life. And then I had the and so sorry about that. The interviews, they came naturally because for so long I'd worked as a social worker in adult services, and I always told myself, if only I could write these stories down. So many people shared their memories, but because of confidentiality, I was never able to gather those stories. And with this, I've been able to meet so many fascinating people, so many people that you pass in the street, you don't realise what extraordinary histories and extraordinary stories there is. And I've been privileged to share that. But other than that, the most important board, the introduction board, is probably the most significant to me, because it features the most significant part of my life, and that's my lovely wife, Pauline. Now, Pauline has got me through my history degree, pushing and pulling, usually pulling me out of the bars to get to the damn lectures. I'm not taking your lecture notes again, no. So, I owe a lot to Pauline. I also should say a big thank you, particularly to Keith Old. Where are you, Keith? Who I didn't know was a pupil. He had the wisdom to arrive at Oswin Avenue after I'd left, and he was a very popular sports tutor to young pupils. But to me, he's been a mainstay of the Ossie Through the Ages project, and together we developed the Ossie Through the Ages video project on YouTube, and for his skill and dedication to that project, I am extremely grateful. But this exhibition is not just about a building, it's about people. It's about a community, and it's about a community that I grew up in. And that's why so many of their stories, they're not about people who are distant to me. Graham Watson, the former Oswin Avenue pupil and professional footballer. Graham, I first met you when I was 6 years old, and I was told that I was the first ever person to ask for your autograph when you signed for Doncaster Rovers. That's because he lived next door to my grandma. And then we've got Sam Kitchen. Is Sam, Dave Kitchen, is he arrived yet? Then, right. Well, Sam Kitchen told me he lived just a few doors away from me on Waverley Avenue. And as a teenager, he used to go onto the local field, and he would play against the young men coming back from the pub. So he's a young kid, and he's getting kicked about by these blokes who have come back from usually from the Fairway pub. And he went on to play for Orient and Doncaster, and a very successful career. And I'm glad that I was one of them drunk men kicking him about. And I've had a hand in developing his career. As for Maurice Wordsworth, I didn't know Maurice, but I knew his dad. And his dad, Arnold, owned the local grocery store. And as a child, my mum would send me with a little note saying, "This is really for me." And she'd send me up to Maurice's dad's shop to buy 5 Woodbine. and this is the thing. All these stories seem interconnected. Everybody knew everybody. It was a community. Bowley and Exeter. 2 twins. And one of the things that people say about community schools or council schools is you failed. You didn't pass your 11 plus. And I know we didn't hear his full title. Dr. Tom Beardsley, Doctor of History, was running his own faculty in American history for 30 years. Failed his 11 plus. Failure. I want to tell you what failure looks like. Failure looks like a doctor of history. Failure looks like professional footballers. Failure looks like Nellie Stagels, who taught generations of pupils, and many of which have gone on to perform for the National Ballet. Failure looks like this gentleman here was not only created a hugely successful business, but in 2005, on hearing about the tragedy that struck Pakistan, was one of the first responders to arrive in the mountainous regions. He helped to bury the dead, and he helped to organise immediate relief. He then took it upon himself to actually organise a longer-term response to the crisis facing that region. Nadeem Shah is a man where most people climb a mountain to plant a flag. Nadeem Shah, a failure, because he didn't pass his 11 plus, climbed a mountain to plant the foundations of a hospital. That's what failure looks like to us. Imagine what success would mean to this group of people. Nadeem Shah and all the other people that are gathered here today encapsulate the motto of that school. And that motto was, not as good as, but better than. And in so many ways, you all encapsulate that. So I hope you enjoy the exhibition. And thank you, everybody, for your time and for your effort. Thank you.